Hi everyone! I'm back again with my second video. This video is just a pregnancy update. I just wanted to talk about kind of what's been going on the last week and fill you in on all that. So, let's see, I'm 21 weeks pregnant now. I have kind of like, I guess I'll stand up and like do a bump thing. I don't know if you can see it, but this is my bump. I don't know how well it's showing in the camera right now. But anyway, yes, so I have had, I don't know, it wasn't really an eventful week, so nothing much really happened. We felt the baby kick a lot more. She's now like pretty regularly having dance parties at night, and like when AJ puts his hand on my stomach, he can like feel her kicking a lot, which is really fun and exciting for both of us. I went to the grocery store because my belly has been sticking out like this for a while, but it's just starting to get to be like warm enough weather where I'm not always like wearing a big jacket or like baggy sweaters all the time. So I went to the grocery store on a day when it was really warm, and I was wearing like a short sleeve shirt, and it was kind of like a loose top, but I sort of had the bottom of it like tucked into the tucked into the top of my pants, because otherwise it kind of looks like I'm just like fat. And it was really, really funny because, like, so one of my friends was like, get ready for people to be super nice to you when you're pregnant and, like, treat you really differently. So the first thing that happened was I walked into the store and there was a guy, like, yelling at his kid about, he was like, no, like, I'm not gonna buy you this 42-cent balloon, like, complaint, like, his kid wanted a balloon, and he was like, no, this is ridiculous, it's too expensive. And he was kind of, not like yelling at him, but scolding him. And then he saw me and like looked at my belly, and then was like, for some reason he apologized to me, which I thought was super funny, so I was cracking up about that. After I walked by him, I was like, that's so funny. And then, like, one of the managers of the store, so I was picking up some cilantro in the herb section, and this store manager like walks up to me and he's like, hello, how are you doing? And so I said, thank you, I'm doing fine. And then he's like, would you like a bag for that? Like, for the herbs, so the cilantro that I picked up, like, the bags were right next to me. I could see them. I know where the bags are. So I was like, oh yes, that would be nice. A bag would be nice. So he goes and he gets a bag, and then like he opens the bag and like does this to open it, and then he just like holds the bag open, and he's like, here you go, like waiting for me to put the herbs in. And I was trying so hard not to laugh. I was like, oh my gosh, does this guy not realize that I can like put my own herbs into the bag? Like, it's not a difficult thing. So then after I put it in, I was like, thank you so much. And then he's like, you're very welcome. Have a nice day. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this guy is so funny. So that was super hilarious. And then when I went to check out, this old lady who worked there, like, I was doing the self-checkout thing, and she just came over to me and she started asking me all of these questions. And she was very nice and sweet, and she was trying to be nice and sweet, but also like I was trying to scan my stuff and she kept talking to me and like asking me another question. And so it took me like 10 minutes to scan the little basket of things that I had instead of like 2 minutes, but it was fine. So I just thought that was super funny. And then I did have some drama. So I had some drama, when was it? It was on the end of the week. It was on like Friday or Saturday. So I was supposed to go into the city to meet our family from Japan. So I'm half Japanese. and we had a family visiting from Kyoto, and so I was already kind of late to go in and see them. So AJ went and dropped me off at the train. I was like getting dropped off at the train station like just a few minutes before the train was supposed to get there, so I didn't have a bunch of time. So it was, yeah, that's what it was. I had him drop me off like at there's like 2 entrances to the train station. One of them is like the public like 24/7 entrance, you know, like just stairs that you can climb up where there's no door, you're not going into any building, they're just stairs straight up to the platform. And then there's an entrance which like goes into like a public building, and that entrance, those doors lock after business hours. So I forgot that it was after business hours and that it was going to be locked, so I had him drop me off, and then I went to open the door and it was locked, and right at that minute I heard the whistle of the train coming. So I think I mentioned in my last video, I was diagnosed with a low-lying placenta, so I'm not supposed to do any high-impact activities, like I'm not supposed to run, I'm not supposed to lift heavy things, I'm just supposed to be like relaxing and like not making sudden movements. So I'm standing here, and then like I had to run to the end of the block, then like across a parking lot, and then like up a flight of stairs, up a flight of stairs, up another flight of stairs, and to get to the platform. So I was like, oh my gosh, the train is coming. If I hurry up and run, like right now, maybe, just maybe I can make it. So the next train was 30 minutes later, so I was like, you know what, I should just run and try and get there. So I run to the end of the block, run across the parking lot. I was getting really out of breath. I was so surprised. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm super out of shape, and like I'm getting so out of breath. Then there's the parking lot, and then there's the curb to go onto the sidewalk, and then there's the steps. I think like going from the parking lot onto the curb, I tripped and fell, and like I caught myself on my hands, but like that really stressed me out. And I was also like, oh my gosh, in my head I was thinking like, I'm so annoyed that I fell. Also, by the way, like there are totally like cars with people in them like in the parking lot watching me frantically like sprinting across the parking lot, looking really weird while I run, because I also had on like open back shoes, so I was sort of like shuffling while I was running. It was really funny. And like I totally didn't care that I was like falling down in front of all these people. I was like, well, whatever. But I was super annoyed that I fell down because I was wasting time. I was like, oh my gosh, like the train it's like right there and people are getting on it and I need to get up there, and I'm wasting all the time because I just fell down, and like that takes time. Like I could be running up the stairs, and here I am like getting up from falling down. So I was super annoyed about that. And then when I started to climb the stairs, then I fell down again, and I like caught myself on the stairs, and like my hands were scraped and like bleeding at this point, but my main issue was still that like I was gonna miss the train. And then like when I fell the second time, some stuff came out of my purse, so I had to stop and like pick those things up. And in the meantime, I'm like frantically trying to pick up stuff that fell out of my bag, and I'm also like screaming like up to the train platform. I'm like, hold the train, like not sure if anybody can even hear me, but just like desperate to get on this train. So I go up the flight, finish going up the flight, then go up the next flight, then go up the next flight, and when I get to the platform, the doors have just closed and the train is just starting to pull out. So I run up, I'm like at the front of the train, so I run to the conductor's window and I like bang on the window, and I'm like, stop the train, I need to get on. And he's like, he didn't stop the train, and he just waved on to me signaling that there was another train coming, which of course I knew there was another train coming, but it's coming 30 minutes later and I was already late. So at that point, everything hit me, like I was so out of breath, like all the adrenaline surge of like running up the stairs and like trying to catch this train, and then like falling down twice and being worried that I fell down and that something bad happened. And so then all of a sudden, and then there was this weird guy up there who was really annoying me and was like staring at me, and he was like, he's like, were you trying to give somebody something? And I was like, no, I was trying to get on the train. And then he was like, oh, and just kept looking at me and like asking me random questions, and I was like, I literally can't do this right now. So I was like, okay, bye. And so then I went to the other staircase that went down onto the street again, and I texted AJ and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I missed the train, I fell down twice while I was running across the parking lot, and like, my hands are bleeding and like my legs are all wobbly, and like I need you to come pick me up because I want to wait at home. So AJ was like, oh my gosh, like, why did you run? Like, you shouldn't have been running. Yeah, and like when I was walking down the steps to go to the street level, my legs were just so wobbly. Like, they felt very jello-y. I was holding onto the railing with both hands because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fall down these stairs if I don't hold onto the railing. Like, my legs are gonna collapse at any second. And then, okay, so then we went home. I changed shoes. I changed into sneakers. And then when we were going back to go to the train the second time, AJ was like, oh, what's on your face? He was like, there's something on your face, what's on your face? And so I looked in the mirror in the car, and there was this weird, like, bump right here, and I was like, it was raised, and I was like, oh, that's so weird, I don't know what it is, and it was kind of, like, discolored, like, it seemed kind of, like, purplish a little bit, so I was like, oh, maybe when I fell down, I, like, hit my cheek on the ground or something and didn't notice it, but I was like, no, my face definitely didn't touch the ground or the steps. Like, my face wasn't on the ground at any point. And then I noticed that there was another one, like a smaller one, on this side of my face, and that was when I realized that it was hives, like these like welts, kind of like big raised bug bites. But it's just not caused by bug bites, it's caused by, like, your skin reacting to something. So I realized that I had hives, and good thing that my mother had them when I was young, because that's how I knew what they were. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have known what they were, and might have freaked out a little bit. But, yeah, so I was like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. And I looked it up, and I was like, the only thing that I can think of that would have caused these hives to appear on my face is just, like, the stress of, like, that whole experience, running across the parking lot, going the stairs, falling on the stairs, like, trying to catch a train. So I just thought it was really interesting that just, like, such a temporary but like very stressful experience could cause my skin to like break out in hives like that. But thankfully they went away. At least they went away within 5 hours. They probably went away within a couple hours actually. But I like got on the train and I went to the dinner, and then I didn't look in the mirror until 5 hours later when I went to the bathroom. So yeah, it was really crazy and weird. But anyway, that is my pregnancy update for the week. Nothing too eventful, nothing too exciting. Yeah, and that's this video. So I hope you enjoyed it, and please let me know in the comments if you have ever gotten hives. Sorry, my phone is going up. If you've ever gotten hives or like had any weird skin reactions from pregnancy. This is the only weird skin reaction that I've had during pregnancy so far. Thankfully, I haven't had any other issues, which I'm very grateful for, and I hope that continues to be the case. But on Instagram, so many people told me about like weird skin things that happened to them while they were pregnant. So I would love to hear about anything that happened to you and any treatments or remedies that you found to be useful whenever you were pregnant. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope everybody has a good day. Bye. I have to get used to signing off these videos.